actually has blood on her hands for perpetuating a lie. It's disgusting.
I know, she's horrible. I don't know.
Disgusting.
You know, she supported the idea that we supported genocide. And she called me a Nazi, and basically she believes the entire land is occupied and should be liberated. It's like,
and she lives in Tel Aviv.
I don't know. She lives in I don't know.
It's sort of the
Tel Aviv.
It's sort of the same performative altruism that you see from white liberals in America, where they try to advocate for the alleged human rights abuses for black people and all this kind of stuff.
It's
it's performative. It's performative.
It's not to feel like more superiority and.
I'll tell you why it is performative. She literally told me. She told me out of the blue. She didn't give a fuck Ronnie is being killed by the regime. So I told her, that's fine, Ambrose, but don't expect me to give a fuck about you either then. Your cause.
Listen. There's an argument to be made that I don't like the current government of Israel, but not for the reasons why other people don't like it. I don't like it because I have beliefs in the way Prime Minister could act. I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, I grew up as a nerd.
As a kid.
Yeah, Ken, בדיוק כזה. אבל אני לא מדבר עברית, don't tell anybody.
אני לא מדבר עברית.
אני לא מדבר עברית, סקי. But I don't prefer to speak in Hebrew. I prefer to speak in Hebrew.
And I envied Ambrose because she can sit in Israel.
Let me just thing. My point is,
yeah.
You can have opinions that I might deem awful, but you should qualify it. Like, I could say I don't like the Chicago Bulls. I know that's I don't watch basketball. I don't like it. Don't care. Can't play it well. But if I went into a space with people talking about basketball, I'm like, wow, Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan sucks. I'm like, what is my opinion worth? So I think people should be cognizant. Being born in Israel, being Israeli or living there does not give you some carte blanche to bullshit about Israel. I grew up with people like Abba Eben. I read all his books in school. I grew up with the understanding of the region. It wasn't, something that was just made up. But we have a lot of people who they call themselves Israeli. Good, you hate your country. I said to someone, a Jewish person on Twitter, I can't stand Emrose, she's a horrible person. Okay, maybe she's a horrible person, I don't know her. But I actually think the existence of people like Emrose actually prove who's right in this equation morally. The fact that people like Emrose can sit in Tel Aviv and shit all over the whole concept of the state of Israel proves one thing. Israel is the more moral society because they tolerate opinions that diverge from the status quo. Now, none of that can be said anywhere, not in the Palestinian Authority, not in Jordan, not in Egypt, not anywhere. So I think we should congratulate and we should lift up people like Emrose and say, see, we have people that are entitled to their opinions no matter how uneducated, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how bizarre, because we don't cut their heads off and we don't stone them for having shitty opinions. We say, okay, well, this guy's gone off the derech, this lady's gone off the derech. So her existence literally demonstrates the vitality, the forward-thinking nature of the state of Israel, because we don't murder people. We don't beat them forget murder. We don't even chastise them for their opinion. Like, we can say online, you're a horrible person, you support a terror group, you're kind of weird, because we have a higher standard that we adhere to. And the same cannot be said about her confrères. Confrères is French, means with brothers, it means brotherly love. Garbage person, garbage beliefs, but she's entitled to her shitty opinions. That's my argument.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing that you say, that I envy her that she can sit in the Israel and criticize the Israel and everything else that she's saying. I envy her. I wish I could do the same in the Iran.
I mean, saying that, don't underestimate how dangerous she is, either, Israel's losing this propaganda war, and
You know what? They're not. You know. Let me tell you something. Let me break it. Let me break it down. Right. From 1940, so from the 1880s up until 1947, do you know how much land was stolen by Jews and that they lived on? How many dunums? How many square centimeters?
They only purchased.
What do you mean?
yeah, I don't think they. I don't.
Zero.
Yeah, I don't think they stole any.
The answer is zero. The answer is zero.
You're in the wrong view. Here we are. We know.
Yeah, no, the answer is no. A lot of people don't know. It's zero. So no land was stolen. No land was taken from anybody. There were, opportunists in the Arab world that sold shitty land in the Jezreel Valley and the Hula Valley, malarial-infested swamps, garbage land, non-arable. I grew up on a farm. I know what the land is like. They bought it. They worked it. A lot of Jews left. They couldn't hack it. A lot of Jews died.
Dunes that were not fertile, like many dunes they were, because it's like next to the entire coastline.
Yeah, it's all junk. Now, if they buy the land and then they declare a state with the recognition under the auspices of the international community, how on earth can someone who is a descendant of people who did that come on the internet or anywhere, the town square, and say, man, my country's illegitimate? What are you talking about? Then get your ass up and leave. Go and move wherever you want in the world. Find refugees. Move to Saudi Arabia. Move to Kuwait. But don't stay there.
Her excuse is that she wants to fight it from the inside. She wants to take advantage of her privilege of basically crumbling the state from within.
Oh, but
Via Knesset, via... Of course, no, but this is like her reasoning. Staying in Israel, this is how she's kind of like enjoying the cake and, how do you call it, eat the cake and keep it whole. So she rationalizes.
That's no different than the American life.
No, it is different. It is different because the Americans aren't indigenous Native Americans, but Jews are indigenous Israel. So it's double.
No, I think it means...
No, but
I think means those that are saying America is this and this is a horrible place to live, but stay there.
Yeah. No, they're saying it's stolen land. America is mostly a horrible country, but they don't live.
She's messaging me here, Olive and Spencer. I don't know who Olive is, but I know it's John Spencer. She hates John Spencer. She doesn't like the fact that a sophisticated military expert doesn't think that a genocide did not happen. Over. That's it. I mean, if you're dumb enough to... I mean, imagine being so... Like, what kind of Stockholm Syndrome is it? If you believed what a fucking group of people that murdered, first of all, my family member, and murder their own people, and rape women, and burn them alive, and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You have to be all sorts of fucked up to do
oh, it's a resistance. It's a resistance. I have a right to resist.
I'm sorry to say, for the sad tragedy of the October 7 victims, this is how they thought and this is what they got. That niceness, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. This is what happened to the October 7 victims.
Well, I didn't say give them
the same farm that fed them, bit them. And this is
And Ambrose knows that, Ruffy, and she's still bats for...
Again, that they don't learn their lesson until it happens to them. Let it happen to them. Simple as that. It's just a matter of time. Trust me, we have a God, and again, God's will, everything goes the way it should be going, guys.
Well,
you know God. If the Muslims believe in God, the Jews believe in God, everything that Allah's doing
Exactly.
is for a purpose.
It's Allah's will.
Allah wants the Muslims dead. The Muslims need to understand, because they're clearly not getting what they want with the Jews and the Israel. Because if Allah wanted it and Allah was so great, He would have given it to them.
I mean, it's a bit upsetting what Allah wanted with Gaza, though, when you look at Gaza. I mean, why would Allah want that with Gaza? It's horrible.
Because they're not biased enough. That's
So I say, the people that support the Gaza, they all have blood on their hand. Every
Yes.
single person that pushes
Yes.
that resistance,
Yes.
does a good job, resist, do this, do that. Every single sucker has blood on their hands.
Yes.
Because you're basically, you're gonna go to kill one fucking Jew, 10 Muslims are gonna die. You know this is what's gonna happen. So what are you fucking pushing for? for your propaganda war?
I would respect him if she went and armed herself and went up against the EDF. I would respect her more instead of pushing other people, other people's children, to resist against the occupying army. I mean, what the fuck?
Excuse me, Brett. How can she go down to Dizengoff and have a cafe chocolate mochaccino if she did that? That's ridiculous, Brett. You're not.
That's true. I'm sorry. I apologize.
They can do whatever they want.
Do you think God wants everyone God
Pardon?
Do you think God wants everyone dead, or do you think God wants peace?
God wants peace, and God don't want Israel.
Hold on.
That's it.
God wants peace, but when you push a resistance is violence. And violence is not what God
That's not resistance. So I said this to Rachel
So
yesterday.
like,
I said,
you're going to try to sacrifice a goat?
yeah, okay. Enough with the goat and Ben Gavir. You can blame. You know who you can blame for Ben Gavir? Emrose. People like Emrose.
Are you going to justify those actions?
Are you listening? Do you speak English? Or am I speaking?
I hear you well enough. I hear you on X all of the time. I am
All right.
listening.
So.
Come on, guys. Brendan will come back in the room if we keep doing that. Just one at a time.
Just one at a time, please.
What I'm saying to you is the same terror supporters blame terrorism on Israel, saying if Israel didn't exist, there'd be no Hamas. Oh wow! So if Jews don't live, Hamas wouldn't exist. Well, that's not a tenable equation. Okay,
That's actually the equation.
Yeah, that is the equation. Like, what people don't understand, if you don't understand the Jewish experience in the Arab world, you have no business speaking. You should shut the fuck up. Honestly.
There is no Jew experience in the Arab world.
No, the
They're
Jewish
just an
experience.
outsider.
Obviously.
Okay,
No,
you
I'm saying-
understand?
Yeah.
No,
So
come on.
when Jews lived in the Arab world, the treatment that Jews always had was obedience, is one of subservience. It wasn't one
Jews
of.
don't belong in Arab world.
Who's talking? Why are you
I'm talking.
The Jews have their own state.
I'm talking.
Wait.
You're not talking.
Wait.
No, I'm talking. Yeah,
Okay, no
I'm
one
talking.
cares.
Yeah, I can write.
Yeah. You will be quiet. What do you mean Jews do not belong in the Arab world? What makes you think that Israel is is in the Arab world?
Hold on, Glow. We're not engaging with her right now. And you don't land her plane and then teach her how Allah does it. She opens up her fucking mic. I will treat her like Allah would treat a woman. So it's fine. You don't finish your fucking sentence. I'm sorry that you were interrupted.
No worries.
After that, YOLO will go and she'll talk. She's not gonna tell me she's talking in my fucking room.
Thank you. Yeah, so for the Jewish experience in the Arab world, if one wants to understand the condition that Israel faces today, you have to understand the experience of the Jews, of the Mizrahim, the Sephardim. Jews have always been, we've been very careful to not go too far, not be too loud, God forbid. But the difference is this: in the Christian world, Europe, Christian Europe did stuff. There was emancipation, things changed. Humanity flourished. The Enlightenment occurred. Science progressed. Now, unfortunately, in other parts of the world, that did not happen. So it's very bizarre and rich for someone to talk about the golden age of Al-Andalus. Cool story. There's no similarity for the Middle East 100 years ago, 50 years ago, today. And so if you want to brag about the fact that Jews were subjugated in the Arab world as if that's a fucking win for you, it's not a win for you. That's why these countries can't produce a light bulb. Now, they have oil. That's how they get things, because they have things in the ground that other people dug up for them and processed. The Germans, the French, the Americans, the British. So I think you should kind of stay in your lane, be very happy you're sitting on oil, but you're not someone special. You haven't done it. You haven't contributed to the advancement of humanity. And now she's gone. It's too bad.
She's gone.
It's fine. She heard what she needed to hear, and she understood.
Well, I'll
she
just
can't rebuttal it.
say, like, as much as I come in here passionate, like, I don't speak like that, and I've got to say, like, I've got a lot of respect and appreciation for all of you that actually get subject to that sort of bullshit on a regular basis. Like, I hear people come into these rooms and try to think like they know what the fuck's going on. They don't know what the fuck's going on. A lot of what they share is their own neurotic, like,
their own neurotic fucking shit that's inside of them while they're having an opinion about a conflict that's happening in the world. And that's what we just heard, was a person's own neurotic shit come out and they about a conflict that's happening in the globe. And so I just had to take that time to say whoever was speaking before had no idea what the heck they're talking about anyways. And I can't believe how often you all have to listen to people that know fucking nothing about the conflict, fucking nothing about the cultures, and all that you have to hear is their own neurotic fucking bullshit come out of their phone.
That's 99.9% of people.
I'm just curious who you're refraining that. Was that towards
YOLO? No, YOLO.
Oh, got it.
No, absolutely not. Yehuda, by the way, it's actually an honor to be able to speak with you. I listened to you quite a bit since the conflict ever started, and even I was paying attention to Ukraine as well, and you were quite prominent in those rooms. I enjoy listening to you speak. I just want you to know that.
I appreciate it. No, I'm new to Clubhouse, and I'm happy to be here. Rafi, your great moderator, Glow, Daniel, Brett, some really nice people here. I like it better than Twitter. Twitter has turned into like a real cesspool.
Clubhouse turns into a cesspool. People move to Twitter, so Clubhouse was once successful. Everybody moved to Twitter. Now I'm noticing a lot.
No, but I noticed
Twitter back to Club.
Yeah, and I wasn't on Club. I made an account a couple of years ago. One of the volunteers told me to, and we did a space, and then I never logged in again. But I mean, in Twitter, it's like now it's like I'm talking to people who are like, no, I'm pretty sure Jews drink the blood of babies, and it's like the level of stupidity is so high that I just can't really.
YouTube, you need to know that this is a social audio space. I'm a politician and a journalist. Statements like that, they're referring to other platforms. Nobody made that statement in an affirmative. So if I have to appeal this video, please watch and listen to the full context of the conversation.
Actual person for who he is, attack them with points. Again, you're gonna act stupid, disrupt the stage, you're out. Simple as that. This is a fucking normal conversation for grown-ass people. You guys wanna be retarded? Have retarded conversations. This is not part of it.
Can we discuss that, Steve?
May we discuss.
Point is making an appearance. Cappuccino has arrived. Hi, everybody.
I was surprised because at first, for the first 30 minutes, I didn't know, believe it or not, didn't know what side you were on because you were so cool with everybody. And I thought that actually says a lot about you and your ability to moderate. So I normally have, because of the years, I got online in 2022, and I kind of lost my patience for people that were ridiculous, you know?
No,
But
all the rules became echo chambers on Clubhouse. It became fucking
fair enough.
to listen to.
Fair enough. No, but I mean, like, I was trying to be nice because I thought Buttercup was your friend or
Can we move
something.
on? You're boring us.
No, I mod her up for a reason why I want the other side to feel safe to come in, so they.
Well, that's and I noticed that. And I noticed that after, but the point is, every time I made a point, I was told that my point was too old. Okay, so you want to talk about a conflict that isn't 5 days old, right? It's 100 years old, you know, and that the person didn't want to do it. But the fact that you let her speak, I thought I wouldn't have let her spoke that long, but I think you're a better man than I am, right? But I think it's instructive for the audience. I think if the audience is listening, that's really good because she kind of hangs herself with the rope, right?
Yeah, I gotta let her land her plane at the end of the day too.
No, it's totally cool. But what I was saying about the situation of Jews of the Arab world, like I grew up with a family member who's married into a Lebanese family in New York. Okay, Lebanese Jews, and the great uncle of mine, I mean, he was much older than his wife, and he was quite old. And I remember at Pesach, he would always talk about his experiences and how his dad was kidnapped during the civil war in Lebanon. And he's a religious Jewish guy, like a Mizrahi religious Jewish guy, not like a black hat guy, but he was, you know, he bought his own synagogue, like he endowed a synagogue in his own name. Very classy guy. And every Pesach, you know, he would listen, you know, Chol Pesach, he would listen to Lebanese music from the 60s, and he would almost not cry, but pine. He would be very reminiscent of how beautiful Beirut was for Jews back then. And I always thought to myself, why do you even care, right? Like, why would you? But for him, that was his history, that was his past. And so when this individual came up and said Jews don't belong in the Arab world, it's like, are you sure? Because I think her attitude doesn't belong in the Arab world, right? Jews were like an integral part. Well, like the Britney Spears of Egypt in the 30s and 40s was a Jewish woman. You know what I mean? Like the Jews are a part of that world, and yet now we're told that we're, colonial, invaders from Norway or something. And it's just so bizarre to me. Anyway,
You know what? I've got a question for you because I've been listening to you for so long. I've always paid attention to is like connection with like these autocratic dictators like Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and it seems like they're all working together, right? Like the IRGC, Xi Jinping,
100%.
Vladimir Putin. Okay, cool. So it's just interesting, like over the course of years since the conflict, how well their propaganda machine has actually taken place in the minds of people that we have to listen to. So I just was curious what your thoughts. If you saw that connection, obviously you do. I'll just be quiet now. Thanks for being here. I've learned a lot from you over the years.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. I didn't know I was doing that, and I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, no, my angle is this. I'm an Italian Jew that grew up in Canada, with Mizrahi roots and North African roots, and I got a really cool experience. Like, I was a kind of person that growing up, the Jews I grew up with didn't even know what Sephardi or Mizrahi Jews were, so it was kind of like, an honorary, Ashki. And I kind of learned to appreciate the other side. So in my mind, I always thought, look at the other side, right? Like, imagine you're in their shoes. What would you think? What would you say? And why would you think it, right? So that's what gave me kind of an openness to understand the Arab side of the conflict, right? But when it comes to anti-Semitism, if you study the history of it in the last 150 years, what a lot of people aren't aware of is one of the most telling, hallmarks of anti-Semitism originated in Tsarist Russia in the late 1800s, and it originated with a false document called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. And it was created by the Tsarist secret police, or the secret police of the King of Russia. And it was literally plagiarized from a French novel that talked about a group of people trying to take over the world. Now, the French novel had nothing to do with Jews, but it was a fiction book, like Lord of the Rings or something. But the Russians turned it into a manifesto, and they swapped out the antagonist for Jews, and they pushed it. Now, they did it to subjugate their own population, to make people feel the reason why they're starving to death is because the Jews, not because the Tsarist Russians were taxing their people to death. And that manifesto, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, found its way to Hitler and other weirdos who propagated it. Now, the place in the world where the Protocols of the Elders of Zion exists are in the minds of gripers and neo-Nazis in America and pretty much the Arab world. So, there are probably 50,000 PhDs throughout the Arab world who've done their PhDs on the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's not a joke, it's real. So it's a fictitious book made by the Tsarist Russians, now used by people to inculcate a population to hate Jews. Now, why this is problematic, for obvious reasons, is if you teach a generation to believe that there's a minority group whose sole purpose is to subjugate and starve you, you're going to be racist, right? And that's exactly the condition we're in. So the Russian regime, under Vladimir Putin, is a reinvigoration of the Soviet regime, which was a reinvigoration of the Tsarist regime under a different color. And the reason why they do it, and this is not controversial, they can't beat America. The Soviet Union could not beat the United States. It's just fact. The Arab nations who were, supported by the Soviet Union could not beat Israel. The Israelis had gumption. They had gusto to survive, and they survived. So what they decided in the 60s, in 61, 62, 63, 64, that we can destroy them by destroying their societies. We're going to tell their societies, we're going to put information out that, America is a drug haven and a really immoral society, that the Soviet Union is a family-based thing, and that's their goal. Their goal is to destroy the West internally by promoting people like Emrose, by promoting people who say dumb stuff about the West. The West isn't perfect. We get it. Is there corruption? Sure. Humans regimes are corrupt. It's not a new thing. But is it supremely better than regimes that have presidents for 30 years? How many presidents of the United States has Vladimir Putin met? And why is that problematic? Right? None of us here, at least I hope, don't think we're the smartest person in the room all the time. We don't think we're the best at anything. I'm not smart enough to be a prime minister. And I wouldn't think I'd be smart enough to be a prime minister for more than 4 years or 5 years because there's someone smarter than me waiting in the wings. But these repressive regimes, whether they be Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, they have I call it a political culture. The political culture is that you need a strong man to do things to protect the people. And people will trade their freedoms and their rights for security or stability. Now, it works as long as the regime does stuff to promote and support the condition of their citizens. The Soviet Union was able to do it to a point where they couldn't even give people bread. And I grew up in Canada, for the most part, where I met a lot of Russian Jews. And there was a grand total of 0 Russian Jews who said, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to Moscow or St. Petersburg one day. Life was so grand. You know, they might appreciate Tchaikovsky, Nutcracker, fucking ballets and art, but there's no way that they wanted to go back there because it was palpably a shithole compared to the West, right? And this is something that the champagne socialists don't understand. They think, oh my God, it's equality, down with the bourgeoisie and blah, blah, blah. None of it's true. And so I once, and I'll land with this, I once had an occasion to speak with a friend of mine who's a girl, and I met her, and I thought she was pretty, and then we had a big argument on the first date, and I said to her, well, socialism isn't bad. What I mean by socialism, I meant like social medicine, insurance, stuff like that. But being a Russian Jewess, she was like, no, it's horrible. My family has suffered immeasurably by communism. And I learned to appreciate the fact that the root of all anti-Semitism in the modern world, for whatever reason, has come from Russia. It's come from Moscow. And they pushed it through everywhere. And I'll add one thing. Sergei Lavrov, the Armenian-descended foreign minister of the Russian Federation, said on an Italian TV show in June of 2022, he was asked by the host, why do you keep saying that Ukraine is a Nazi state? It has a Jewish president. It has a Jewish defense minister. And Sergei Lavrov, who should know better, who does know better, said, without skipping a beat, he said, everyone knows the biggest anti-Semites are Jews. Hitler was Jewish himself. And this is when I said to myself, and the reason why, to the individual who just spoke to me, dude, you said, you heard me go off on it. I said to myself, you know what? I said, the Russia do something against Israel. Give it time. They will not be able to win in Ukraine because they're junk. And they're going to export their warfare and terror to the Middle East. My initial thought was they would actually pull the reins off of the terror groups in Syria to attack Israel. I didn't know that they would embolden Hamas to commit the largest genocide of the Jews since World War II, and they did. And there's a man in Israel, Likud senior party member, named Amit Weitman, and he said in an interview with Russia Today, I think in 2023, and he was admonished for it by the Likud, he said, don't worry, we know you did it. We know you did, and we will make sure Ukraine wins. And we will let you know we are coming for you. And he's a French Jew. And I think it was one of the most proud moments I've ever had, hearing an Israeli official literally call out Russian propaganda and say, we know Hamas did what they did because you gave the green light. You wanted to detract attention away to your stupid garbage war in Ukraine. And you exported this to Iran and Hamas because you wanted to change the world's focus. So yes, I do believe that there is an axis of evil, just like Ronald Reagan said. There's an axis of evil. It originates in Moscow, and they are doing their best to use Jews as a weapon to try to dominate the world. But they can't, because their culture, political culture sucks. They're not sophisticated as they say. And I've spoken too long. Thanks.
That was great. Wow. By the way, George W. met with Putin 28 times during his presidency.
And he was tricked every time.
Yeah.
I thought that, yeah.
But he talked about how Putin would try to have a bigger dog than his dog, and he played a lot of games with him, but he definitely met him 28 times. He makes a point when he does speeches now to talk about it. But it's so great what you just said. I mean, and you think about the Bolsheviks and you know how Lenin kind of created them through the Mensheviks, and Hitler basically did the same thing through the Thule Society, and the Muslim Brotherhood is taking this same kind of this philosophy that they have through the Islamic communities and into Western societies and countries, and they're all using the same playbook.
It's actually interesting.
Bolshevism, Nazism, Muslim Brotherhood, they're all created and they're incepted in the same era. Yeah, I mean there it is.
Sorry, I gotta imagine. I'm new to Clubhouse. Someone said Yehuda's not Jewish. Okay.
Sorry.
What does that mean?
Just ignore it. You just have some people that have nothing else to do but write odd things in chats.
Oh, it's in chat. It's not to me. Okay, sorry. I didn't read
Yeah.
It's okay. They can come.
But you're so spot on about it. But and those philosophies are all similar. They're all birthed
What's
around the same time.
The philosophy, though, is that like you supported Donald Trump, and he's heavily influenced from a philosopher out of Russia. Actually, Alexander Dugin has probably manipulated Donald Trump quite a bit, and a lot of MAGA folks, if you actually look into his philosophy. So,
How do you know Trump is?
Alexander Dugin wanted Donald Trump to win.
Has Trump quoted him? Has Trump said that?
No, he has.
How do you know? Where does that come from? I didn't know that.
In other words, Donald Trump has directly repeated things that Alexander Dugin has put forth.
Has he mentioned his name?
I don't
Not
think
by
so.
name, not that obvious.
So, dude, listen. Alexander Dugin is a horrible human being. I agree with you 100%. However, even with Putin, Alexander Dugin is like a Tucker Carlson to him. So, I get it. I think that a broken clock is right twice a day. I don't think that. I mean, listen. I'm more concerned about people around Trump like J.D. Vance and the people that don't like J.D. Vance himself. I think that's problematic, but I'm not sure. I agree with you. Alexander Dugin's super bad. A really weird. Like Alexander Dugin is like the bad guy in a movie. Like the things he says about the world. Like, the West is decadent. He's a dinosaur, right? In terms of political philosophy, but I think he's a bit of a boogeyman. To be honest with you, he's not as important as some people think. That's my take on it.
And also, like, his inner circle of his friends and who's influenced him, I mean, and who's in his Mar-a-Lago crowd and who was his crowd in New York. I mean, there's just different influences. There's people like George Klein in New York, and Whitcock, by the way, was his buddy, and I mean, some of these people have had influence on him.
Who was his buddy?
So was Howard Lutnick, man.
Yeah, Howard Lutnick too, but George Klein is a
Hold on.
fabulous
Can you
man.
Can you enlighten me? Did you say Dugin and Whitcock are friends? No way.
No, I said with Trump and Trump's circle and who he's surrounded himself with over the years and who's been he was brilliant.
By opening up China, we defeated
This
the
is
Soviet
Chicago
Union.
mayoral candidate John Kitover.
And now
I'm in a
Trump is
podcast
transferring
right now
his
called
Nixon going
Who
to
is the
China was
Powerhouse
So
in
that's
the
the
Middle
easy
East?
word
You're
to
about to
there.
hear
But I asked
from Jewish Americans and Israeli soldiers about the security crisis in the Middle East and in America. Here in Chicago, we have a financial crisis. The city is $100 billion in debt. The state of Illinois is $200 billion in debt. Brandon Johnson is a liar and a fraud. Alexei Giannopoulos killed Katie and Chloe and committed $400 million in bank fraud at Parkway Bank. And Susan Mendoza is a communist pension parasite. I need your like, your share, and your comment. And I need you to go to ChicagoMayorVote.com right now. Click the link above.
On his approach to Kissinger had to do with Vietnam mostly, and I'm not an American, nor do I, know much about Vietnam, so I won't speak about it. But I am interested in Israel, and I think that for those who say Jews are traitorous or they're not loyal to the country, I think Henry Kissinger is a perfect example of a U.S. diplomat, the top diplomat. In fact, before Marco Rubio, he was the only U.S. diplomat that was both the Secretary of State and a senior national security advisor, which is unique and inappropriate at the same time. He was supremely concerned with the success of the United States, even if it meant Israel suffered. So why Kissinger is interesting to me, and again, I can't speak to anything about Vietnam. I literally know that
I have to put on the AC. We got this Chicago heat wave. It's so racist.
to Israel in 73.
The heat can be racist. Racist in the sense that you can't afford comment. And comment tells you to turn your electricity off because there's too much strain on the power. That's racist.
my kibbutz? I showed him a picture of Odell and I.
And all I think about is that suka is a word in Russian, and when you erected one, I was like, okay, no.
Wait, what's going on here? You did yet another Daniel move on me? What just happened?
Abby, can you invite Yehuda?
Sure.
Rafi, what is suka? Rafi, serious?
I'm saying a sukkah.
Yeah, Rafi, in Russian, what is suka?
God,
No, suka blood.
бля, пиздец. Нет.
What are you all doing for the 4th?
What's happening on the 4th? Why is the 4th important? Is it Australia Day?
Kind of the same thing I do on my Thursday.
This is John Kitover, Chicago mayoral candidate, February 23rd, 2027. I need your vote. I'm the Spencer Pratt of Chicago, fighting to liberate Chicago from the pluralists, the progressives, the Democrat, communist, fascist, lying thieves. Like this video, subscribe to this account, go to John Kitover on Instagram, go to ChicagoMayorVote.com. I need your signature on the petition to liberate Chicago. Like, share, and comment to this video. I'm on a podcast right now. We're talking about America, 4th of July, the 250-year celebration, liberty, justice, and law.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome for America to play on the 4th. I would definitely watch that. I don't think they're going to go any further honestly who they play. I'm sorry to say it.
I mean, they showed a lot of heart with the red card. I don't really understand the game enough. There's so much that is completely different than how we play sports. But
They are, sorry, Abby. They're playing 7th of July against Russia.
not till the 7th.
Yeah, 7th of July. I think they
Against-
have a chance against Belgium.
Who's
Against
playing?
who, sorry?
Who's playing on the 4th in Philly? What teams do you know?
Who they playing?
not sure.
I didn't hear you, CJ. Who they playing?
Belgium.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be a struggle.
Tomorrow is,
There's Saturday
Yeah,
night.
sorry.
There's a game in Philly Saturday.
Tomorrow, Australia versus Egypt, guys. Come on.
Hey, Brent, you know what's great?
Okay.
Egypt's out. Iran is out.
No, Egypt's-
Iraq is out. That only leaves England as the only Muslim country left.
But Egypt's in. Yeah, Australia.
No, they're out. They're not gonna.
No, they're playing Australia.
Yeah, but they can't win.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your confidence.
No, Egypt can't win. Even if they win that game, I thought they couldn't progress.
What are you talking about? It's the round of 32, dude.
I thought it'd be
Egypt's... No. Egypt's playing Australia. The winner goes through.
Okay, work with me on the joke, okay?
Sorry, dude.
Australia and Egypt are not on 4th of July, by the way. So.
No, tonight.
So who's playing on? I could have sworn there's a game on the 4th at the link.
Okay, there is 3 matches. Colombia against Ghana. That's all on 4th of July. Colombia against
So
Ghana.
Ghana was
Canada
just
against-
in Philly. So they're still in Philly again, Ghana?
1 second.
Because they were just there. They were buying cheesesteaks.
Kansas.
Who?
Kansas City.
Okay, so they're in Kansas. So then,
Morocco and Canada at Houston. Uruguay against France in Philadelphia.
oh, France is back. So when they were there, they literally closed off streets. The fans were insane. The French fans, surrounding the hotel where the team was staying. It was really a lot of like pandemonium with them. So and aren't they ranked number 1 for this?
of ignorance, whilst your forefathers and mothers were in the Arabian Peninsula, Jewish people were praising God or Allah.
I would like you to respect when you talk about my father and mother and my sisters.
I'm not speaking about your. I'm not speaking about your father and mother. I'm sorry.
No. This is the exact way you talk about. Okay, even for you, before your brother came, your ancestors was Jahiliyyah.
Yahuda, could you land it so she can kind
Let me land it. Yeah. I'll do my
Unless
best.
you want to talk the whole time, because I would like to sleep.
Let me just finish. I'll finish in 1 second. Just
when you're gonna finish, you keep talking.
Let me finish.
I know all this fact you talk about. I know this fact you talk about. I know it.
Yolo, one more minute.
Go ahead.
Hold on,
my point is,
so you can rebuttal it.
Yeah, so the people of Israel existed uninterrupted for over 1,000 years before any other people came into the equation. The Babylonians attacked us, the Neo-Assyrians attacked us. We were exiled, we came back. And then, after the Roman expulsion, after 70 AD or CE, Jews were expelled across the world. That's why Rafi is in Russia, not because his ancestors decided to move to a cold wasteland. His family was sent there because that's where Jews were kicked out.
We know facts. We know facts.
Halas.
We know it. Yeah, you're talking facts. We know it.
Jews went back to the land of Israel en masse.
Don't take the right forbidden the land from you because you didn't.
You're not a Jewish scholar.
Listen, because
you're not a sheikha. You're not a scholar of Judaism.
No, I'm nothing. I'm a normal human being. I'm normal human being talking to you.
Christ.
How are you Jewish and say
they
Jesus
lived on the
Christ?
land. And you are mad that Jews purchased their land back. Well, get over it. Because you come from a... Okay, let me finish. I'm done. You come...
Can I just talk? You can keep talking, and I will answer you in my timing. What do you think about this?
Listen.
Yehuda, you're not making us look.
We put a clock on it.
30 seconds.
Come on, I want to
30
sleep.
seconds.
Let's end this.
For 15 minutes and you let him only.
I have a leg.
Yes.
Why anyone else should not speak?
Again.
صح والله صح. Why you should not anybody else speak?
Let me have 30 seconds. I'm done.
Plus, I'm hungry. When I see your picture, like I want to.
Okay, Yolo. In 30 seconds, Rafi will ring a bell. Khalas, okay?
This burrata and tomato looks really delicious.
30 seconds is a lot of time. In 30 seconds,
Mir, shut the fuck up or fuck off. Mir, shut the fuck up.
Keep it respectful. Keep it respectful.
So 30 seconds, start me now. The Jewish people went back en masse in the 1880s to purchase our land back from the people who lived on it after it was stolen from us. You are talking from a kingdom that was created by a warlord in Arabia that won and beat out the Rashidis and the Hashemites. You have no business to Jews where we can live at all. Zero business. You are literally a construct. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is this the first time you talk to men?
Hold on.
Have you talked to
Do
men
you think
before?
so? Do you think so?
We're not
Sounds like it, yeah.
We're not antagonizing.
Sounds like
We're
them.
better than this. We're better than this.
No, I think it's true. They're not allowed to talk to
Come on
men.
now, Yolo was next. She waited for him to finish, okay? Come on.
Fair enough.
What would you like to say to Yahuda? What you
You're
just
all
mentioned?
let me just say something. You're all brainwashed by the media, and you like it this way. Yeah, you like it this way. You don't want to believe anything else.
No, we question everything. We're critical thinkers.
Hold on.
And right now, I'm talking to you riding my camel, going to the next village. So just keep it easy, because my camel is so slow.
So Yolo, do you have a rebuttal for what Yehuda said? Do you have it?
Yeah, I want to say something. He was talking, لحظة, wait. He was talking about like family names and something happened in the Arabia, as he called it, before it came Saudi Arabia. This is our own business. All other countries have like we have never been colonized by any foreigner country or any foreigner race.
Except the Ottomans.
Just between. Expect who?
Except the Ottomans. That's a good point.
Who's that?
The Turk.
Osmanlı.
The Ottoman
These are
Empire.
actually Arab and Muslim. So
No,
they're
those
from
are
us.
Turks. They're a different group. They're Ottoman. It's a different empire. The Ottoman Empire.
No. You mean Uthmaniyin? They were Arab. They colonized
No,
Turkey.
I'm talking about the Ottoman Turks.
No. They're Arab. They're Arab. They colonized
They're not
Turkey.
Arabs.
They are.
They're not Arabs. I know
They're
they are.
they named after Uthman bin Affan, which
They're
is
from Mongolia. They're not Arab.
Wait a second. Wait a
Yeah,
second.
not everyone,
Mongolian who?
not everyone that is Muslim is Arab.
The Ottoman Empire.
Al-Uthmaniyyin?
Hold on.
Okay, so they're who? They're
So
Mongolian?
let's talk. Mongolian. The original Turkish was Mongolian before any other race came to Turkey.
So the Ottoman Empire controlled Saudi Arabia, right?
Like in America, who's the original people are there?
But you said you were never colonized, but you were.
Yeah, we have never
The Turks colonized Arabia for hundreds of years.
they colonized the south.
I want to ask you a quick question. I've noticed you have a problem pronunciation with the P.
Yeah, English is not my first language, so you can expect that. You can expect that. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in Arabic and answer me back. So appreciate I talk another language and I can talk to you. It's not my first language. I have to be fluent about it.
You're amazing in it. Whatever my question is to you. You have a problem pronunciation. B. Is there?
Yeah, it's not my first language. I don't care. Can you hear care? Even care doesn't sound English. It sounds more Arabic.
I know, but do you guys have a P in your alphabet?
What does that mean? P? We don't have. We have just B. Ba.
Oh, ba. No,
so it's one letter.
That's like when you say people, it sounds like Beppo.
Yeah. I say it like that. Yeah, I say it bubble. So it means people.
Kind of like
so now my next question is.
I can type. If you can't hear me, I can type.
No. My next question is Palestine when you guys say it. Because it's pronounced as
No, we call it Palestine. We don't care how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They say Palestine. That's why I always get confused. I'm like, how do you guys not have a letter P, but you name it?
So we will call it Al-Quds.
Got it.
That's the name of the mosque.
Perfect.
It's in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think
So
that?
I forgot all what.
So I have one question. I have one. She's not going to answer you, Yehuda. She's not knowledgeable. But I have one.
I will answer.
So do it.
You're so happy that someone from Saudi Arabia joining your room, so you keep asking me.
No one's happy here. We're trying to have a conversation.
I don't know. I hear like ask a question and type. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You told me that you used to be there before Muslims. That's 100% true because your prophet came before us.
We were before Arabs, not just Muslims. Arabs.
Okay, and when your prophet came to your land and he tried to spread his message, and the Yehudi people didn't listen.
Yeah, we did listen. We actually went into the land after Moses died. We established the Jewish kingdom after the judges, and we created a Jewish kingdom for 1,000 years. Yes, you did multiple times.
So you want to believe whatever you. You want to believe whatever you say? Go ahead and believe.
No, we want to believe the true history.
Why?
We can believe it. I'll tell you why we can believe it. Because the people of Israel exist in the state of Israel, and they dominate you. So yes, we're happy to believe it. We live in the real world.
Before your ancestors came and they became Yehudi people, what was they?
We weren't. Our ancestors didn't come there. We're Jews. We come from the land. You're usurpers that come from a
are you a tree? Are you a tree? Did you bump from the floor?
A tree that what?
Yeah.
We come from Abraham. You may have heard of him.
Yeah, of course I heard of him. Peace upon Ibrahim. I believe in Ibrahim. He's one of our prophets.
He is also the prophet you borrowed from us 1,700 years later.
So, if you're talking about it in this way, then why Christian people don't say Lebanon is for us and we belong to this land? We have to occupy it. We have to be here. They literally do what? They literally do what?
Yeah, Lebanon is a piece of Lebanon. What, you don't know?
Yeah, do you know that Arab country is okay? Do you know the Arab country is the place where all prophets came from, and there is more prophet than you know about. It's not the only three you're talking
Muhammad
about
is the
right
first
now.
Arab prophet. Muhammad in Islam is the first Arab prophet. What are you
I'm talking about Arab countries right now in these days. All prophets came from this land.
Okay, was Iraq Arab
Okay,
1,000
okay,
years ago?
so-
Was Iraq Arab? Was Syria Arab? Was
I'm
Egypt
talking
Arab? No,
about
it wasn't.
I just said this time. You don't want to hear
What
me
you're not listening,
properly?
what you're not listening to is that the entire
No.
Middle East was invaded by the
For
Arabs
now,
under Omar.
for now, Iraq is called Arab country. Either you
Yes,
like it
because
or
it was
not.
invaded by your
I just
ancestors.
said, okay, it was invaded. Even Spain was invaded. Even like China was invaded.
Of course, because Arab, that's what they do. They invaded. Look,
And what do you
they
guys
invaded
do?
Europe now.
Yeah,
Of course. We know that. That's Islam.
You're right.
And
That's
this is the shit of a religion.
These people
Okay,
are that's the Islam you want to know. That's the Islam you want to know.
Newcomers, and you are more than welcome. But this is our fucking region.
This is your fucking. The whole world is your region.
I'm into
Come take my house. Come take my house. Come take my house. Come take my house. Come take my house.
Why would we want your house?
I don't know because you think all this world belongs to you.
For the halal home.
No, it's not for you.
Listen.
Okay, I'm muting everybody right now. One mic at a fucking time. Do not fucking directly attack people on the stage. You will directly attack, I'll put you in the audience.
Okay.
Don't mute me, guys. Don't mute me. If you want me to leave, just tell me. Just tell me. I don't care.
You're not any fucking special. Remember that, YOLO. I muted every single fucking
No, I
person
was
on the
talking.
stage. Nobody overspeaks. Yes, because
Yeah,
I'm
no,
speaking.
Then when you mute everyone, just say it right away. Don't just mute as a team.
What she said is correct.
Don't just mute me like this.
I muted everybody. It's one button.
Then just say it. When you press the mute button, tell I'm muting everyone.
YOLO, he said it. YOLO, he said it.
He literally said, I'm muting everybody.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. Y'all want to be dickish about Rafi doing it? Now you get the fun mod. Because I don't give a fuck about any of you, whether you're in here or not. Do not come into this space and be disrespectful. If Rafi's trying to be polite and pause everybody so that you're not rude, interruptive fucks who act like you don't know how to behave, be a grown person with self-control. It is not that challenging to be a grown-ass adult with self-control and wait, right? It's Rafi's room, it's Rafi's fucking house. It isn't that challenging. Wait until he's done fucking talking to come off mic. It's not that hard.
I just want to clarify, it's our house, bro. It's our home.
Okay, it's mine and yours, but I don't want to be a dick about that. I like to call it yours because it's easier, because then I cannot deal with the shit show that it is sometimes. But my point is, everybody who's a regular in here knows it's a one mic fucking policy. You don't need to sit on mic if you're not actively talking. And if the mods interject to slow everybody down because everybody got a little hyper and is talking over, it means shut the fuck up until they tell you it's your turn again. And it's really simple. We have always had that policy in here. We will always have that policy in here. The entire reason why Rafi has me helping him reset this house over the last couple months is to check the shit show that some of you pull. So it's done. It's over. It's gone. And nobody is so important that you need to be a shit show. There are lots of spaces on this app that allow shit shows. Not here. And if you can't behave for Rafi, who's nice, I'll just be a cunt and throw everybody. And Harry, don't come for me. You know, the only reason I don't have you blocked is courtesy to other people.
Are we allowed to talk now?
Yeah, you're good, Brad. Yahuda, one second, Brad. Read your message. I want to send an invite to somebody and give them the green light on it. What do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
So I just wanted to tie it up with a bow here. I mean, YOLO, I think, thinks that we're some of her indentured servants, working for her in Saudi Arabia. I find it pretty annoying. But the point is, she didn't address any of the comments I made. Number one, Jews come from Israel, period. There's a United Kingdom, United Monarchy. All of the archaeological evidence, regardless of what your particular flavor of Judaism is, demonstrates that. And the Arabs, where she comes from Sana'a or Yemen, migrated north and eventually took advantage of a power vacuum between the Romans and the Sasanian Empire, and that's why the region is Arab. The Egyptians were Coptic by then. Before then, they were polytheist Egyptians. I have no problem with it. That's how the world works. People migrate, there are wars and whatnot. However, where her argument falls apart is when she says the Jews have no right to live there, that it's Palestine. She doesn't know what Palestine means. She has no idea that the Philistines were Greeks that invaded Egypt and landed in Gaza. And the reason why it's important is because people like her and her voice is used to subjugate and malign Jewish people and turn us into quote-unquote white colonial oppressor nonsense. There's no difference between Europeans colonizing somewhere versus nations in Africa doing it, or Arabs doing it, or the Chinese doing it. So this attack on humanity, which is probably not meant initially to attack Jews, but it's used to attack Jews. So I don't know where she is. I don't know if you dropped her, but it's ridiculous. Jewish people come from Judea. That's it.
I think we have Mir in the room who claimed that Hitler didn't finish the job, or should have finished the job.
Who's that? Is he on the stage, Mir?
Yeah, MIR, just down there.
Mir, how are you doing? How are you and your friend Hitler doing?
Mir, did you
Then you will mute me or just try to tackle? I think it's better. I will go ahead and listen for now.
Well, you're on the stage, Mir, so
spoke.
Right.
Yeah, so
again, then you didn't let that lady speak. You see, that was one woman, and you all were with one opinion. She was with other.
Okay, well, she's gone now. How about we give you 2 minutes, and then we'll ring a bell when you're finished. Is that fair, Mir?
It was simple. I was reading about Hitler, why he said that I will leave some of them alive to make the world realize how colonial they can become and how they will destroy the society in future. And that's what has happened. The Israeli country is right now attacking almost every other country in their neighborhood.
Wow. So, Amir, you sound like a guy that really supports women's rights. You're really upset the way that Yola got spoken to. Does that really bother you? Only if she's a Muslim.
What? He said, it sounds like you support women's rights.
Only if they are Muslims.
You're scared when someone will not agree with you. That's your problem.
Well, we've allowed you to speak, and we're allowing you to speak, and we're doing
I never noticed everybody is quiet. You've been speaking so far.
I'm making my point. Why you are attacking every other country in your neighborhood?
Israel's not attacking every other country, but if you'd like to, they can.
Because go ahead and read what the Prime Minister is saying.
Give us a country. Give us the name of the country, and then we'll discuss each one. Give us the name of the country that Israel is attacking, and I will tell you why. Which one first? Yemen?
I know. The reason you the reason that the way Hitler
I thought you asked. I thought you asked why.
I don't think he knows the countries, Daniel. He's just making up. I don't think he knows the countries.
I don't think that's much.
No, it's a fair question. Mir, it's a fair question. Just name one country. You said we're attacking so many countries. Just name one country so we can discuss that country. Is that fair?
The one that you're most confused about, or the one that comes up to your mind first. I'll give you a reason why.
Narnia. They're attacking Narnia.
Narnia, you mean
I thought we had a
Palestine?
peace treaty with Narnia.
You mean Palestine?
Guys, I don't get everybody off mic at the same time. You guys, again, you're
Me, for example, Lebanon.
just complained about you guys are fucking doing it too. You guys are like literally retarded.
Okay, Mir, one country, Mir, and so we can discuss that one country.
Syria, Lebanon.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Did you say Libya?
Lebanon,
No,
Syria.
no,
For one fucking second, he said Syria first country. Let's go with Syria. Is that fair, Beer? Can we start with Syria?
Go ahead.
Okay, but do you know anything about it or no? Or we're gonna, or the people are gonna teach you know something about Syria?
Why are you attacking innocent people in Syria?
Nobody's doing that. We rescued the Druze. So hold on, Norm, 1 second. The only thing you know is about that Israel is attacking